Ladies and gentlemen, introducing you to round 3 of Deluxe Stage 1. We're into the heated moment where everyone is clashing for the third and final time in their respective blocks to try and vie for the top spots in top cut of Deluxe Stage 2. With us today, we've got a match most peculiar and perhaps one of the most evenly matched combatants I've ever seen on these feature matches thus far. In the top corner, bearing the red gloves, we've got Thunderfire wielding his trusty Alden deck to battle, whilst on the bottom, wearing the blue gloves, we've got Genesis with his tried and true Astroea, Bico, Stella. And with me today, I have my lovely co-commentator, Drag Noah's Shadow. How are we doing, sir?
Fairly pretty good. I'm hyped for this because I finally started getting back into standard and I'm like, you know what, let me do some commentary because why the heck not, you know, because this is how we do things here.
Yeah, comment. It's going to be nice to be able to comment, especially on a match like this where you can tell there's so many variables around. Like, this is going to be a great example of the format that we have for this tournament series, where you're allowed to adjust your deck preemptively for your opponent here, and both of these decks have some really good versatile options to bring to bear. So I'm excited to see what these fighters did to try and prepare for the other here. And now, having said that, let's go ahead and begin properly, shall we? Are we ready, fellas?
Yes, we are.
Let's do this then. Stand up.
Stand up. My Vanguard.
Okay, so it looks like we're going to be starting off with Almajestar at the bottom here. Now, this doesn't really determine too much, although it is worth noting that Almajestar not having to get smashed by an Alden turn right away is pretty good, because Alden's definitely more aggressive these two decks. Discarding the clean sweep. So, Dragno, do you happen to know what clean sweep does?
Briefly, let me read this thing. Oh. Okay, yeah,
it sweeps up that field. Now, clean sweep here is a really interesting choice because it's a great example of Genesis choosing a card specifically to counterpick a tech option in Alden, where Alden has access to the hostage order engine. This was something that was popularized from Resile back when, right after Liel was revealed, we had Festival Collection cards. They allow you to move your cards from the Guardian Circle, from the field to the Guardian Circle, and then you bind them afterwards. But you see, that means you can kind of use your field as defense. All right, he passes the turn after riding to Schwart Sparda, and now it's Alden's turn over there. And what's interesting about this one is Alden is another really good proponent of the hostage order because it can early call a lot of its cards to use as offense, then subsequently defense, kind of that sword and shield style. But clean sweep might just shut that down. So we're gonna see how Thunderfire tries to navigate around that. So he's taking his draw here. All right, discarding the critical trigger. Ooh, okay, rides into Tranquilius, the new one, because you don't need to ride the old one anymore in Alden. Good stuff.
I'll energy charge 3 and draw a card, and then just swing for 8.
Oh, keeping it very light with just an 8 on 8. Let's see if Genesis wants to take the poke or not. All right, he's saying go right on ahead.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Ah, interesting. So no useful trigger there, but Hardiest Tier Sorcerer is also kind of a tell because this Sorceress has the ability that when the original critical of the unit its Guardian guessed is 2 or greater, that wasn't from like a trigger effect or anything like that, then it gets an extra bit of shields, a 25k shielder. So this is pretty clearly meant to be hate for Astroea swing proper.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's probably meant for the Vanguard swing.
Yeah, if he's going for those triggers, then he's probably intending on trying to PG larger columns, which makes sense because Astroea actually isn't, generally speaking, the largest attack. It's the most threatening attack, but it's not the largest attack in the entire battle phase there. And that tends to go to whatever it restands, which there's a few good options. I mean, heck, the clean sweep, there's a 25k beater. No, 35 if you include persona ride numbers, so I can see why you do that. All right, Schwart Sparda right over effect. We're going to get a soul charge 2. Let's see if he gets anything good here. Oh, that's not great. Soul charging the double PG. Oh, frick. Man, can someone call the freaking wizard because we need some of that PG recursion. Man, F in the chat. Oh, but he does get a Bifronts here at least. Okay, so let's see if we can get off the top 3. The Bifronts is a little bit of a community meme with it. Have you heard the memes at all?
No, I have not.
Apparently, there's a superstition that Bifrons will see triple trigger on top and force you to put one in soul, put one in drop, and you have to add the other, thus basically ruining your very clutch top decks and drive checks. It's like, that's the superstition. It doesn't seem to be founded here, though, this time around. He actually puts in a decent target to soul, discarding the Griffiths, which is likely meant to be a revive target. Okay, now Bifrons is going to activate. Bifrons has the very noteworthy skill, and this is not the generic skill, where you Soul Blast to Energy Blast. You put either a crit or an Astroea from deck into the Soul, and then in return, you can revive something that's less or equal to your Almajestar Vanguard. So he can, with this being the early game, it's almost certainly going to be an Astroea being placed to the Soul. Astroea is being crit fodder for the time being. Good stuff there.
Ooh, okay.
He's putting in Bico Mass. Okay,
How does
this is
it
fascinating. Yeah, that is interesting. That is trippy. What's kind of fascinating about that one is Stella doesn't just include Stellas, it includes any Astroeas as sort of substitutes for crits. So he's using that as another form of crit substitution, which is great because it means he doesn't have to use up the real thing. That can still be good drive pressure there. So, and he's going to revive back Griffith's Chimaera. All right, Griffith's tutoring the top two cards of the deck. Really strong consistency card considering it's basically free. All right, adding one card from the hand. And then the other one kind of stay. Oh, he's putting the other one on top, so he probably saw something quite good there, looks like.
Probably a trigger, if I had to guess.
I mean, yeah, either that, like, imagine it's just a heal trigger, right? That'd help out quite a bit. Okay, so he's keeping it to just 2 swings this turn. All right, now Philia's going to go ahead and get some power here. All right, that's a no guard from the opponent. Yeah, Griffiths is a really good beater too. The fact that it can also get 5k in the early game is quite nice. Oh, okay, so he saw a front trigger on the top there. All right, not the most punishing trigger in this scenario, but it helps out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that at least helps a bit with the numbers.
I mean, shoot, it's very unlikely that there's even going to be a guard in this next attack, particularly because there's no critical anyway. You might as well just go to 2. But, you know, Alden plays a very defensive game, so it might just straight up shield this anyway. All right, so now we're going to get a draw from the Philia there, and then it's going to be coming in hot with Griffith Chimaera. So we made a poll recently here about this particular matchup, and in this matchup, the poll slightly favored Alden. But what's your assessment on that?
Honestly, I could kind of see why. Like, maybe it's because like that first initial turn wasn't that great, but I feel like Alden from this point can probably start kind of started being a little more aggro here, so we'll just see how this plays out.
Right, Studious.
Oh,
Skill of
right.
Tranquilia. Look at top 5 and get... Look at top 5, I'll add back Xeno. And then shuffle the rest back.
That's a really good search target.
Shoot, the ride line in general is really strong, but yeah, Rajino is one of the best ones that you can get here. That card, one of my favorite implications of this card is that it works with basically any Alden deck for the most part. One of my favorite things you can do with this deck is it lets you play a Grand Handling Sword Alden. Now, I know, really expensive card, Counterblast 2 and all that, but Grand Handling Sword Alden, its stipulation is to call a grade 3 from the hand and draw 2 cards, right? The interesting thing is that in this Alden deck, where anything you overcall goes back to hand, if you overcall Grand Handling Sword over Rajino, you can just immediately call back Rajino.
Yeah, that is an interesting interaction.
Yeah, I don't think many people really talk about that. It's only the keter goons that are on this. All right, let's see what Thunder does from here. Alden's really known for its rush plays, so let's see how well he's able to capitalize the hand he's provided.
I activate Wisdom of Beginning to open the world.
And yeah, that's the big indicator that he's gonna go fast this turn.
Its ability,
Here's
I'll
the
draw
file
2 cards,
text. Here you go.
and then Superior call 2 cards from the hand. So I will call Teethfault and Sergon.
And to absolutely no one's surprise, we've got the Wonder Duo for the order package.
Yep.
Teethfault's skill. Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of the deck and call something.
The only downside to running the order package in this version of Alden is that it's very hungry for soul, particularly if you have to go second because Rajino also utilizes a soul blast. Because when you think about your soul economy here, when you're playing an Alden deck, Dragonoa, the ride line is going to cost that soul blast, but then also after that, you'll be down to 1 soul. The choice then becomes, will Alden have to use his divine skill right there, which is yet another soul blast, or will it have to soul blast Rajino? So Thunder's going to have a decision when it comes time for them to ride to grade 3, and I'm curious how they're going to choose this.
I mean, it also depends on what he... Okay, see, and getting another Saragon's gonna really matter too, I feel.
Oh, yeah, he wants some damage. He sees blood in the water.
Both Sargons will... Actually, wait, no, both won't. Hold on. Both won't power up. So instead... Yeah, you know what? I'll just do this. I'll just go... Both will power up, so it will be... 5 and 5. Because I played in order this turn. So I'll go... This is 23 to the Vanguard.
Alright, and now Genesis has got a decision in front of him. $33 straight to face. It's just like the Resile days all over again. It's great to be a global player. If you're playing Resile, you can still use those. Thankfully, my Saragons haven't taken the dump in price yet. Maybe I just sell them off while I have a chance. In case I think English Pussy isn't abandoning us, eh?
I was gonna say, yeah.
One interesting thing about this game state I'm noticing right now is that with this board state, if both Saragons utilize their skills, that's going to leave Thunder with only one rear guard there. And the reason why that's interesting to me is because we've seen previously from what Genesis has that Philia is a card. Now, Philia's condition is a little bit different. It's either you play an order or your opponent has one or less rear guards. So oddly, Saragon plays into Philia here. They have the symbiotic relationship between the cyclers. Alright, so there's a guard here. A 1 to pass. Ooh. The most fascinating thing about this 1 to pass here is that he's that was a technical overguard on the 1 to pass, but I believe the reason he's doing it is because he needs to have an excuse to get Griffith Chimaera off that field. Because Griffith Chimaera has an ignition effect when you place on the rear circle that could be activated from Bifrons. So that seems to be a very intentional move on Genesis's part. Alright, Saragon getting a mystery card to the hand there. And then Tathfall coming in hot.
This is the same number, so it's 23. Okay, fair enough.
Alright. Very, very easy take on Genesis's part. Alright, another Saragon proc going over, and both of them are going to be sitting at 1 damage at the end of this turn.
I mean, this is a pretty low damage game considering so far. Like, I would have thought that Alden would have been a little more aggressive here, but like honestly, this has been pretty tame. Though I wonder how that's going to play out going into this next turn.
Shoot, yeah. As a matter of fact, Almajestar was oddly a little middle of the road too. Almajestar can build board quite easily thanks to Bifrons, and after seeing the Bifrons and the front trigger to boot, I was surprised Genesis didn't have anything else to commit there. Maybe that's just how the game state was going. Alright, now we're going to be heading into the turn 3. Astroea gets to go to grade 3 first. Discarding the Masque of Hydragrum, so apparently the Masques wasn't just for show and fodder. That could have also just been a legitimate ride option there. And riding into Bico Stellar. Oh, this is adorable right here. For those who don't know in the audience, our friend Genesis here, he's actually going to get a nice commission of Astroea in honor of this event where he's a part of the feature match and being in Deluxe in general, and he has the sketch art as an alternate art for Bico Stella. No worries though, all of its effect text and its identity, its info, it's all the same exact. It's just the art that's different. So the tournament organizers allowed this.
That's so cool, honestly. Like
it's
so rad.
And it's also reminiscent. We do this a couple times here over the many months where different tournament circuits have allowed for like the all arts, and that's been abused. There's actually quite a funny story as well, where our very first tournament, we actually had one where there was an Impaldio player and it was Impaldio. It was still the same name, but they just had the JoJo character on the art there,
that's
which is
funny.
It was hilarious, yeah. It was Impaldio, but he summoned Zawarudo. Alright, so now we're going to be able to call back 2 cards from the ride line there. This is a very fascinating order card that he's thrown down. Have a great year. Let's look at the top 5 cards of the deck and put 1 card in the soul. This card, really cool because Astroea, there's one thing that this deck can really choke on. It's not seeing the enablers in the form of critical triggers or other Astroeas, so that'll just help guarantee. Now he's going to be able to activate skill here in order to try and get some more cards. It seems like Bifrons is proccing right now. So now that's 2 Astroeas right away there into the soul. So that'll get him to the 2 or more condition. Astroea has a really difficult time getting to the 3 or more condition though. As a matter of fact, it's almost impossible for you to get the restand unless there's a very specific combo. Do you happen to know the combo?
I have to like a general consensus, but like I imagine it's a lot harder than that most people would assume to actually get that condition going.
Yeah, the best way to get the condition going on turn 3 is to go second, and then Schwart Sparda here is the key in this ride line, right? The best way to do it is to use Schwart Sparda's skill, bind one of the critical triggers, then overcall the Bifrons and revive it back, and then bind another one. If you can do that in addition to the 3 binds from Astroea, you can reach the 5 condition. But not only do you require to see the Bifrons here, you're also required to get 5 of those, which is hard. Okay, and now we're going to be swinging in with Philia here. It looks like it's going to be a nice 31, and with a critical and a drive to boots, he managed to hit his trusty 3 or more condition and popping the only rear guard available to Thunder there. This is a really nice attack to start off with. Very good card advantage, full field. This is going to be disruptive. It's going to be even a little bit meatier if you get some good triggers here. So going for Stjerneborge instead of the Griffiths, which is kind of an interesting choice. So the deck top is going to be a bit of a mystery here. I wonder why he went for that one. All right, let's see what Thunder responds
it's also
with.
because he has to assume, because he also has to bait out that heal trigger too, which, you know.
That's true.
Which,
the heal trigger right now being a
especially
35
early on,
shield.
you kind of want to do that, and then that way you follow up. Your follow up is naturally better. So
100%. The amount of defense just coming like Alden's way because of like those heal triggers, and shoot, that isn't even assuming what other kind of like nice goodies. This deck, unironically, in this deck format where you can prepare for your opponent in advance, Alden actually really rose up as one of the stronger decks here because its ability to just adjust its playstyle is almost like a nun. Like versatility becomes a legitimate stat block, unlike just sort of a theoretical concept in regular competitive Vanguard. All right, so declaring the number there, 31k, 2 crits and 3 drives. This is a really big impasse for Thunder. Whatever he chooses to do here will really set the tempo for the rest of the game.
I guess in that case, this has to go like this. All right, I will 3 to boss you.
Oh, throwing down the double heal right away. Looks like you're making the right call there, Jack. No, he's going to use his heal trigger so you have a chance. Okay, there's a critical trigger there, so we're still going to keep on the pressure there. If he checks another one, then there's a chance for guaranteed lethal depending on the rest of the hand there. Yeah, now we're gonna see, but so he's gonna be throwing it over on the left rear guard there. Yeah, all right, and then there's the double critical. So now there is a chance to threaten lethal with this board because both of the other ones will have criticals. Yeah, and this is probably one of the big cornerstones of Genesis's build right here is by using the other Astroea as a fodder piece, you don't have to filter out your critical triggers right away. That's a really good call there. Philia gonna go.
And that's on top of having the Philia too that give you an additional card. Like that's huge.
100%. And that's all part and parcel of the fact that he's only at 2 damage, and Alden doesn't really start smacking down the big numbers until the Persona Rite anyway, so he's got good time and stability. All right, now we're getting a really nice 33k column with a critical here. Let's see if Thunderfire is going to take or not. 33k is already asking 25 shield.
What's the other one?
All right, let's see. Thunder's asking about the other column there. 38k, okay. So, yeah, right. Typical Vanguard attack pattern, attacking with the smaller one first. Let's see how he takes this, though.
No guard.
All right, he's no guarding this, probably to fish for some triggers. Ooh, okay. Damage checking a PG. That's... damage checking 2 PGs! Oh! That really evens up the playing field for the 2 soul charges from earlier. Oh, this is a fascinating matchup right now. Okay, now Astro is going to come in for 38 with 2 crit. Genesis is going to have to require a guard here, or Thunder's going to go home early.
Okay, thinking. I mean, okay. Well, I didn't want to have to do this so early, but I have to. So, guard.
Ooh, dropping the OT.
Revealing the over trigger this early in the game. Oh, that's devastating for Thunder here. Having to give up that, not only is that a really precious card, but that just gives them the information that there's no need to OT to pass anymore. It'll be a no pass. That might really assist in Genesis' guarding endeavors here. So leaving the turn off at 2 to 4, Genesis definitely making the most of being able to go first here. So well done for this player. Now let's see how Thunder can retaliate in turn. What do you think of the game state right now?
Honestly, this is really a really awkward scenario for Thunder, in large part because you're already dealt to 4 damage before you hit grade 3, and so you're essentially going to have to like overcommit just to actually do as much damage back. Because keep in mind, he's only got what, like 1 or 2 damage on Genesis' side, so it's really awkward for him to like he has to do something to get himself back in here.
Yeah.
Oh, discarding a Persona Ride to ride into Alden. So Thunder having to discard that Persona Ride, that either means he's keeping pieces or he just doesn't anticipate this game going on for very much longer. You can really feel the pressure in that. Now, as I mentioned before, because of the effect of the Ride line doing that Soul Blast, now there's only 1 Soul Blast left, but both Rajina, which is confirmed, and Alden require a Soul Blast to do their main play. So which one is Thunder going to have to opt for here? Is speed key, or is it going to be for the restand aggression? All right, so Ride Line's going to try and look at the top 5 here. Okay, calling another Rajina. This will be good for Thunder though. Double Rajina means that there can be an EB8 to get 2 additional draws, so that'll replenish the hand quite quickly.
And then so do this.
This is the big thinking moment. Perhaps one of the more skill-intensive divine skills in this format, unironically, comes from Alden's divine skill. After all, for anyone who actually plays the deck will tell you, this divine skill can really set what your entire attack pattern for the rest of the game is, and whether or not you offer offense, defense, aggression, resources, anything that amount. This divine skill is so open-ended that it's complex. Maybe not as skill-intensive as something like Res ILs, but it's getting kind of close there. Now let's see what Thunder's going to do here. Is he going to hold on it or not? Okay. All right, we're going to try and get some more card advantage on the double. Makes sense.
Okay.
With the extra CB.
Call and call.
Calling Tate. Oh, Ilted. All right. So Ilted is a relatively new card. So let me explain for the audience what this card does. This is a promo order that came out, promo unit that came out recently that supports Alden and Bastion. So at all times, even Alden or Bastion, it has the boost ability. So it's a 13k booster, making great numbers for the grade 2 here, like what Thunder just made. Furthermore, when your other unit is placed or stood in front of its column, it's able to restand itself, but it has to go into so afterwards. Also, it gets 5k shield as long as you got Alden or Bastion. So it's got shield, it's a great booster, it's a restanding booster, just good stuff all around for this card.
Okay, so that at least means his columns are going to at least be a little bit more a lot more threatening now.
Honestly, this card's going to really show its value because of that. Having to go second, Alden takes a while to build up the pressure. It needs Persona Rite to get a lot of strong pressure, but this will at least get you somewhere. Tatefall plus that's going to be a 33k column on its own. That's sufficient numbers to start annoying the opponent. But it seems like we're not sure on where the Soul Blast is, because again, Tatefall also requires a Soul Blast, so the choke point of Alden here comes from the Soul, unfortunately. And all 3 of these units in the front row ask for a Soul Blast. That's crazy. And unfortunately, Ilted can't provide back Soul until the end of the turn after it uses its restand skills, so this is going to be lagging behind a little bit.
He had at least the Soul, move the Soul crit or front in the deck, he could at least mitigate that a bit, but as of right now, we don't see any of that. So, him managing this one Soul and trying to figure out whether or not he wants to use the Divine skill, it is admittedly a challenge.
Yeah, if you were in the shoes here, how would you try to approach this? Which Soul Blast would you have opted for?
Honestly, given the fact that there's a bit of retiring on Astorea's end, I would consider using the Divine skill, but also you kind of need to push damage, so it's really just not a good position either way. I actually wouldn't know exactly how to proceed from here.
Razionel attacks the Vanguard.
All right, no divine skill there. It seems we're going to be opting for the Soul Blast ability of Raji now. Aggressive. Okay, now an intercept from Stjerneborge to shut down the 13 swing.
Illithrid attacks the Vanguard. With skill, I have 4 units exactly, so at 10,000 power. So this is 33.
All right, very nice stuff there. Going to be able to go for 33. Huge attack. Alright, and taking the damage there. Damage checking to Bifrons, which thankfully for Genesis isn't too impactful here, because just having the one Bifrons on the field is sufficient. Alden lacks any proper means of field control here, so it should be safe and sound.
Okay, now Alden attacks the Vanguard, activating skill. Draw one card. Superior call Razianel.
Oh, Razianel with Razianel.
Return the other one back to the hand and add 10,000 power. Skill of the Razianel that returned to the hand, add another 10,000. And then Soul Blast 1 to stand a column. Well, one rear guard, but Iltrid stands anyway. So this is 13k Vanguard with Razianel's, the place Razianel's skill. I get to draw another card.
Alright. Getting a lot of card advantage, and the Twin Drive will be there. Razianel's now also got the power protection under it, so it can't get popped by Astroea on the following turn. Alright, not looking too bad. Now, will Astroea guard this? Admittedly, the other columns being 33 is quite threatening here. This is the only puny attack.
Yeah, so in this situation, you probably, like, it's no matter what, it's kind of like, you, like, if he checks any, like, critical triggers along the way, this does become a lot more scary.
100%. It's also worth noting from this in particular that we've got a situation where we don't know what the opponent is really got for his deck composition, right? So for all we know, this could be a front trigger scenario, and we just haven't seen that yet, because front triggers could really push the envelope on this. Going for a no pass. So Astroea playing for the long game here a bit. I guess with the hand size.
He knows he can get away with it because he had to reveal the OT earlier, so.
Yeah, that again, that's a great point, right? Being able to see the OT. Ooh, and there's the critical trigger to push the agenda. All right.
All effects to Teeth Fault. Second check, no trigger.
No trigger there, but of course, to mention again, that is a 5k shield there, so it's still better than nothing, not a complete brick.
Razianel attacks 33.
All right, 33k on Genesis here. Now we'll have Genesis response. All right, going up to 4 there. So now they're both at a 4 damage. Looks like it's a tie ball game.
Iltrid attacks with boost. So this Teeth Fate attacks with boost from Iltrid. So this is 43 2 crit.
All right, 43, demanding for 35 shield total. Oh, and throwing down a counter heal of his own. Yep. This one punishes things that have attacked you more times the battle phase. Punishing, Razianel's restand falling right at Genesis's trap, it looks like. And being able to get rid of another critical there. Yeah.
Iltrid goes back. I end my turn.
You could definitely see the preparation of both of these players really coming into the full light here. Oh, they're so remarkably even right now. The hand advantage definitely looks to be in Alden's favor, but now it's Astroea's battle phase. They're both at 4 damage, both the 2 units on the field right now. But now this is where the true power of Stella really comes into play. The guaranteed persona rights from that bind zone is going to give him that stability well into the late game here. All right, it looks like he's going to discard a card and ride into the beautiful SEC Astroea. Man, it's such an Astroea fan. He was actually the one who even inputted this artwork into the Untapped database. Yeah, fun fact there. All right.
Oh boy, this is going to be really interesting to see, because like now it's do or die here, I feel.
Yeah, we're gonna see. That's a large hand, but we're gonna see just how strong that hand is here. Was Thunder able to catch many of the cards that he covets, or is this going to be a faux pas in disguise? All right. Looks like we're going to start off with good old Bifrons there. A really nice way to kick it back up, using the 3 energy for turn and a Soul Blast. One of the best cards I think an archetype has ever gotten in this format. Bifrons just does so much for this archetype. It's quite polarizing. I remember in the January Standard Tournament circuit, when this was when Boss Lager was running around, and Astroea actually did make it to Top Cut solely on the back of Bifrons.
I mean, there's a reason why this card is really expensive right now in the TCG. It's only no wonder why.
Yeah, and it's so fascinating to think that it was mostly for generic purposes at first, right? With its counterblast skill, but for Astroea, the counterblast skill is arguably the weaker skill of the two, almost inarguably, if that. All right, now we're going to see a proc from Griffith Chimaera here. Griffith is going to look at the top 2 cards of the deck. All right, we're gonna start Plutonic Prospector. That one hurts a little bit for Genesis here because that card is effectively a 15k shield with its effect. Now we're gonna see what else we get. So he's gonna get one card there. The other card goes to the Soul. Ooh, okay, saw another clean sweep there. Interesting. So now, even though there's no guaranteed deck stack there, that is still a good filtration method. All right, so Griffith's getting 5k as well, looks like, and then from there, it's up to Astroea to try and build the rest of the board on its own.
Like, the one thing that he does have, like, going for him is that he can use the, oh, no, wait. Okay, never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. Like, I'm sure he's got options, though, like, without question, to at least get to, like, at least the 3 or more, if not the 5 or more, which would be very game-changing.
Ooh, he's throwing down the clean sweep here. Oh, I'm going for an absolutely fascinating decision. He's going to clean sweep both of those rear guards into the soul, and in addition, take his own critical trigger into the soul.
If you gotta bind them somehow, there you go.
Well, the one benefit for Thunder here is that Thunder can actually utilize that soul now in the following turn.
And he's using the Sparda to get an additional 10k. Like, that's actually gonna matter.
All right, and Clean Sweep is a fantastic restand target. As I was mentioning before, it's going to be a base 35k swinger because the Persona Ride number is its own number. And we're going in for battle phase. Okay. All right, starting with 35 here.
Vanguard swings in for, I think, 28.
Perhaps one of the scariest things about this battle phase is that if he wants to take this to try and go up to the higher damage, it's the weakest swing of the turn. So it's sort of a catch-22 for Thunder here. It was very.
If he's going to take a defensive and hope and pray he gets something, this is the turn. This is the attack he's got to do it, I feel.
Right, and if he doesn't go for that, then he's going to be in the danger zone here. There's no telling how many critical triggers are left in Genesis's deck.
No guard.
All right, he's going to no-guard this.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, he manages to hit a defensive there to try and help out, but in the process now, that means that all these other attacks are guaranteed lethal they connect. So if Genesis doesn't hit any critical triggers, this might have actually worked to his benefit regardless. All right, now we're going to see Astroea Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 3 here. Because of the two Astroeas in that Soul there, he'll be able to get the Fibermore condition to hit everything he needs. Such a stable card. Very well played. All right, standing up Clean Sweep, 5,000 to the front row, critical and drive. 28 with a critical and a drive. Oddly, this might actually be a little bit more annoying for Thunder now. The fact that the defensive doesn't even matter too much in this case.
See, it is 28 with a crit and drive. Thinking. You still have OT somewhere left in deck. You kept the card on top with Chimaera, right?
Let's see. Seems one of the competitors actually made a really good note there. Overtrigger has only been seen from one of them. At any point in that 18-card deck, we could see that OT come on down, and depending on which flavor he went for, that could just change the game outright.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it doesn't, like, the problem is like, unless Thunder has got PGs, and even then, like, in the weird instance where, like, he has to raw guard one attack, and if, like, he has to, like, let's say raw guard this attack, he's going to be put into an awkward spot because he knows the OT is still in Genesis's deck still, so yikes.
Right.
Not the best position to be in.
From the perspective of a premium player, you guys have been wanting OT gone from your format since forever ago, it feels like, but in when looking over in Standard there, what are your thoughts on the Overtrigger?
Honestly, like, I still don't like the Overtrigger in general. I think it's like, I don't want to go too deep into it because I've already talked about it before in years past. But what I will say is that in this weird scenario, it's actually kind of interesting because now you have to play an additional mind game that normally, in most cases, you realistically wouldn't have to. It's like, okay, do I just raw guard this or PG and then run the risk of getting, like, killed because my opponent checked OT and he gave it to the other side? You know what I mean?
Yeah, with a format like Standard, it's a little bit more interesting in the sense that these decks weren't built to abuse the overtrigger the way, because they were built around not doing that, I should say. But whereas in Premium format, they didn't account for these things, so you get very weird interactions with some of these decks. I know Musketeer had a field day with it at one point. Now and of course Ultima got a choice restrict with all over triggers as a result. So now Thunder is inquiring over to Genesis here if he'll be able to know the top card of his deck. Now from the audience side, we actually as the commentators do remember prior that Genesis had played it into the soul, so we know for a fact that Genesis should not know the top card of the deck within this stage of the game.
Okay, you're at 28, I'm at 23, so in that case, if you check Val Note, I lose anyway, so there's no point. So we'll just do this. We will guard, effective gain 15k.
Oh, the hardest tier coming down again!
Yep.
That puts me up to 48. This should be 63, no pass. Unless you get OT, in which case...
I was gonna say, unless OT comes in.
Alright, so
Unless
we got Overtrigger to pass here. But Genesis knows that 3 heals are gone, so he's definitely looking from the aggressive mindset here. Oh, check one. Oh, and it looks like Thunder was definitely correct to take the first damage. The heal trigger coming on down, trying to spoil the day there. Could have healed out a damage, would have been very nice. Oh, even more so than he realizes. That is absolutely insane for our brother here. Great damage on board potentially. Oh, and a front trigger though. All right, and knowing that 2 PGs were already out in the damage zone, hitting all the power on these rear guards, that just might do it on its own.
Yeah, it entirely depends on what Thunder has in hand still.
Okay, this match is living up to the hype right now. All right, now Clean Sweep's coming in for a massive 68 on Alden. That defensive doesn't seem so impactful anymore.
Man, why did it have to be 68? Alright, fine, perfect guard.
Oh, he's throwing down a perfect guard. The other one also going to be 68 according to Genesis, so ooh, these maps are the same no matter what.
Oh, man. Okay, fine.
Alright, and now the other one being 68.
Wait for it.
I would not expect anything less. Perfect guard.
Yep, there it is. Okay, there's the last one. So we know all PGs are gone off of Thunder's side.
Oh man! Oh, Genesis, that was a close game on him right there. Now he has to try and play his defense again. The bright side for Genesis is that in addition to the mystery cards, we know that the 3 cards that he drove check are all really powerful shield targets here. So that's going to do a lot for him in this scenario potentially. But what does Alden have for its offense?
Okay, there's the Persona Ride.
All right. So he's got Persona Ride. That's huge for him right here. Persona Ride will give him the kill numbers.
Okay. Now, call Raziel. Raziel effect. Draw a card.
Using the last 4 energy blast to get a card.
I didn't think I had more of those in my deck. Fair enough. I will then... Yeah, there is literally no point in me doing that, so I will just do this. I will call Raziel, call Iltrid, and call Iltrid.
Wow, committing a huge board.
We're going back to the Bastion days here, boy, with Alden. That's insane. A grade 3 board all the way. Oh, and playing a grade 3 order to top it all off. Someone screenshot this field because this is beautiful. Hitting 2 cards from the top of the deck, going for the Pot of Greed effect again. Pot of Greed all around. That is absolutely insane work on Thunder's part, holding on to that. Another Infiltrate! Oh, it just gets better. Oh, no. Oh, man.
This board is so primitive in retrospect when you think about it. There's like 3 of that promo and then 2 of the other thing. Like, oh my god.
That is absolutely insane work here. Wow. Shoot. Is this Bastion or Alden? I'm pretty sure even the card herself, or him, I'm not sure, but the card is confused as well.
Let's do this. 36 to the Vanguard.
Oh man, and a not so humble number to begin it off. Oh, This is going to be bad for Genesis here, having to deal with full columns right off the bat, just like that. And it's only going to get worse with the power-up bonuses from Raziel and also from Alden. Okay, looks like we've got a double intercept coming on down, and an extra 15 from the hand. All right, going to 38 to the 36, a very clean number there.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is gonna be.
All right, another 36 again. What's this one gonna look like?
Yeah, same thing.
All right, guarding with the front trigger we saw from last turn, and a Sternberg. Ooh, all right. The hand's definitely showing a lot of proneness to be able to deal with this right now, but I wonder if it'll work out.
Alden's skill. Draw one card. Superior call. There is literally no point, so I'll just call Teeth Vault.
Oh, look at that beater on board. Okay, now activating skill of Raziel in order to restand a rear guard, but then it gets better because now both of the back rows are going to be able to restand themselves. Whoa! Oh man, Astroea took advantage of his first grade 3 turn splendidly, but Thunder was able to take full advantage of his Persona Ride turn just as well, if not better. Wow, we are seeing some...
a really bad spot now.
Okay. Now this is the time for Astroea to make a hard decision with only 3 cards left in hand. What could it do here? This could be it.
This one is 36. This one is also 36. And Teeth Fate will gain 10k, so I'll just mark that now. It is 40, 53, 63.
Oh my goodness!
Shoot, yeah, perfect numbers there, right? This column is this column is where it's at. This and unlike something like Franchette, this beater actually doesn't care what units you have. It's absolutely incredible. There may still be a chance to survive this, however. Ooh, okay, going for a no guard on that.
Okay, people, let's do this. Dill phase? Yeah, fair enough.
Alright.
Alright, thanks, guys.
No, nothing there. Oh, hitting defensive in turn, okay.
That actually might matter a lot here.
Yeah, let's just go 36.
Let's see here. This is going to be absolutely crucial moment.
Yep.
Oh, throwing down the heal trigger. Okay, getting a little bit of extra shield there.
Yeah, it's 38. And this is the big one, 63.
Ooh, I wonder if he actually has enough here. I feel like he doesn't.
Ooh, interesting. And there may have been a way to... Oh, that's game! Alden does it! Okay, Alden going into the top cut! What a fantastic showing there on both players' part, being able to settle this out. Well done to both of them. Alden being able to carry it through thanks to the Persona Ride turn, which was an absolutely incredible showcase of just how raw the numbers can be when you can see all of the different units in succession there. And as an interesting... and one interesting little comment here is that there actually was a chance for Genesis to survive this entire turn. Had they simply won to past Alden, they would have had the ability to survive the entire turn there, which is a little unfortunate on Genesis's part, because had they analyzed that, they would have been able to stop this. But it's too bad, unfortunately.
Was, keep in mind, he would have had to use a lot more shield to guard, because I'm pretty sure he had like what I forget what he had in his hand during the start of the turn, but like regardless, he would have been like, he would have had to actively sit there and consider it, but I don't think he was taking into consideration the T-fault column, like, at the end of the day. Like, he wasn't taking into consideration, like, hey, this is going to be way bigger than the other couple of attacks combined, so have fun.
Yeah, that is unfortunate there. Had he just taken the Taithfall column and guarded Alden, he would have been able to live the turn through the double brick. And with that double brick in mind, Thunder was basically out of options to stop Astroea next turn. So close yet so far. But, you know, when it comes to a high-stakes game of Vanguard like this, one misplay can make the difference between life or death there. And that came out into the case here, most likely, in this match. Still, regardless.
This is how all our games turn out. This is how all of our games turn out. They always just turn out insanely insane. It's just this is par for the course, and you put on an incredible show, and it was a show that I legitimately was on the edge of my seat, considering I didn't think I would survive it. I did not think I would survive.
I mean, I think what helped was having the promo in the back, just sitting there being like, "Hey, I could boost this thing. Have fun."
Honestly, Iltrade is so good. I am so happy that it came out before our the tournament before our Deluxe, our team tournament, and I'm so happy that I actually managed to figure out how to use it.
I mean, I think Alden players are going to be like hoping and praying they could afford them when they finally make their way to English, because this card is going to be kind of mandatory, I feel, in the build going forward.
Cost of this, oh dear.
Wow. Alrighty, well, that's going to end this Deluxe match. Those of you who enjoyed this game, then definitely like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the trusty notification bell, because we got more Deluxe feature matches like this coming along the way, in addition to the top cuts, which will also get their own videos right in the future there. But if you're looking for the Vanguard content in the meantime, then definitely consider looking at my other series. We've got custom card reviews, top 10s, discussions, other fight nights, anime reactions, the whole shebang, and also consider checking out Drag Noah's Shadow's YouTube channel. He does a lot of Vanguard YouTubing as well, particularly on the premium side of things, so definitely try to help a brother out over there too if you want to take the time to check out what he's got going there. And with that said, take care and God bless.
Bye everyone.